The drama begins in a class where a student named Koo Ae Jin is bullied. Every day, Koo Ae Jin experiences violence from her classmate Hana. Hana constantly bullies her because she is annoyed by Koo Ae Jin's ugly face. Meanwhile, Koo Ae Jin seems just to be silent and do nothing. That's because she doesn't have the strength to fight back, especially when no one defends her. That's why she chooses to be silent and live her life as best as possible. Even though she is often bullied at school, she is actually a queen at home. This is because she is one of the influencers who have 700,000 followers. However, she doesn't use her real identity. Instead, she creates a character named Genie. She creates a character using her edited photo with software called Photoshop. It looks like Koo Ae Jin is really good at manipulating things. One of the pieces of evidence is that she succeeds in creating a Genie character that is so realistic that even her followers are not aware of it. Thanks to this, Genie's life isn't all bad because pretending to be a genie alone makes her happy. It doesn't stop there. Because she is a well-known influencer, she also earns money through several endorsements from brands. However, she doesn't tell her parents about it. This is because she really hates her mother for remarrying, so she just keeps it to herself. The next day, because Koo Ae Jin gets a lot of stuff from her followers, she intends to wear it to school. She hopes that Hana takes the items so she is not bullied. However, it doesn't go as planned. Even though Hana takes the goods, she still bullies her. It turns out that at this school, Koo Ae Jin is not alone. She has one friend from another class named Jin Sung. They are friends because they are alienated. Jin Sung is alienated by his friends because they feel jealous of him for having worked in an agency that is quite famous in Korea. Meanwhile, Koo Ae Jin is alienated because she is considered ugly by her classmates. That's how they meet and eventually become friends. Jin Sung seems like a person who really cares about Koo Ae Jin. However, his attitude actually bothers Koo Ae Jin. Since Jin Sung is currently off work, he invites her to lunch after school, caring that Koo Ae Jin feels happy. However, she is not happy because she can have lunch with him but to fulfill a promise to her followers to take selfies outdoors. Her followers ask to do it because Genie has taken indoor photos so far. They suspect that Genie is not real. Koo Ae Jin doesn't want her followers to doubt her, so she takes a selfie outdoor. That's why she accepts Jin Sung's offer for lunch. After having lunch with Jin Sung, Koo Ae Jin returns to the diner to take a selfie while wearing a wig to resemble Genie. Even though she feels awkward, she still does it and then rushes home and edits it so that it can be published. After proving that she can take selfies outdoors, her followers finally believe that Genie is real. It is also known that Koo Ae Jin has an online friend. Their identity is unknown, but they use an account called Lamsky. Lamsky is the first person to follow Koo Ae Jin. That's why she considers him a friend. Suddenly, after publishing the selfie, apparently, someone has seen her real identity. Of course, this makes Koo Ae Jin even more worried. If her true identity is revealed, then her life is over. Since then, she has been terrified to the point that she faints. When she wakes up, her worries come back. She thinks about what she will say to his friends, including Jin Sung if she pretends to be Genie. Jin Sung sees that Koo Ae Jin is not in good condition, so he offers to take her home. However, Koo Ae Jin refuses it because she still has business with an account that knows her identity. And now, to solve this problem, Koo Ae Jin intends to find the account owner. Then after doing some research, she finally finds out the owner of the account is her own friend, Jin Sung. She suspects him so much because Jin Sung plays with his cell phone whenever she sends a message to the account. She tries to confirm it again, and her suspicion grows stronger. Since knowing that Koo Ae Jin stays away from him because she wants to find out whether the account belongs to Jin Sung or not, a problem occurs during her search. The mysterious account asks to wear lipstick at school. Koo Ae Jin can't help but accept the request because if she refuses, the account will surely reveal her identity to the entire school. Of course, this makes her embarrassed because it is the first time she wears makeup to school. As expected, this makes her ridiculed by one class, including Hana. She can do nothing but be embarrassed and sad. When Koo Ae Jin comes home from school, suddenly, the account tells her a clue about their whereabouts. Of course, Koo Ae Jin follows the clue to find them. It turns out that the account owner is the class president named Kim. For a moment, this really makes Koo Ae Jin surprised and wonder how he gets to know her identity. Kim replies he can tell because of her mistakes several times. For example, he can be sure that Genie isn't real because Koo Ae Jin has made a mistake by posting a photo wearing a school uniform. But even so, Kim is not so sure. Therefore, he tries to dig deeper and observe all the students in the school. Then after some observations, he is surprised that Koo Ae Jin is the account owner of Genie. He is sure after seeing Koo Ae Jin's phone. Kim has seen a large number of notifications appear on the phone. Since then, he has believed that Genie is Koo Ae Jin. In addition, Kim reveals an unexpected fact about the owner of the Lamski account being his girlfriend, Hana. And at that time, Kim intends to bring the two together as he really wants to see their reactions when they meet. However, Kim cancels his intention because he still has some questions for Ae Jin and how she can come up with such a realistic character. Therefore, he'll keep her identity a secret for a little longer. He also asks her to show how she works as a genie. The next day, they go to a place owned by a friend of Kim's, which is not yet open. Kim is really surprised because Ae Jin is actually not as ugly as he thinks. He even becomes awkward because of that. Meanwhile, on the other hand, after Kim promises to keep her identity a secret, Ae Jin is relieved. With all the problems resolved, Ae Jin's life is back to normal. Now, she has finally realized that she likes Jin Sung, and she intends to follow his social media accounts using Jeannie's account. In addition, she also wants to make sure that Jin Sung is like other men. She will test him by asking him to send a naughty video. However, she is disappointed because Jin Sung actually sent the video. She thinks that Jin Sung is different from the others. But now that she knows the truth, she is starting to stay away from him. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Jin Sung is confused about Ae Jin's behavior. He thinks he hasn't done anything wrong, but Ae Jin hates him for some reason. Jin Sung then meets her at night and asks why she's like that. Instead of answering, Ae Jin gets upset, saying he just pretends to be nice. She even asks him not to see her again. Hearing those words, Jin Sung feels sad. However, even so, he doesn't hate her. In fact, he says that he is happy to meet her. In addition, Jin Sung also tells her that he will move to another school the next day. He asks Ae Jin to take care of herself. Hearing that, Ae Jin just keeps quiet because she thinks this is the best way for her and him. However, after that, Ae Jin feels guilty. She thinks maybe if she hadn't asked Jin Sung to send the photo, maybe this wouldn't have happened. With such a feeling, she then confides in Lamski. She asks what to do when there is a problem in love. Hana replies not to immediately make the problem big because maybe it's just a trivial matter. She feels even sadder after hearing that, because her friendship with Jin Sung is destroyed because of her own deed. And as a result, she doesn't dare to say goodbye to Jin Sung. She only watches from a distance when Jin Sung leaves. This really makes her regret it because she is alone again like before. On the other hand, Hana has a problem with her relationship with Kim. Lately, Kim has rarely met and dated her. Since then, she begins to suspect that Kim is having an affair with someone else. What makes her even more certain is Kim's social media profile, which is seen in someone's photo. However, even though she is suspicious, she doesn't dare to say that, considering Kim is a pretty grumpy person. So now she intends to improve her relationship with Kim by being beautiful so that Kim likes her. However, despite trying to be beautiful, Kim's response is just normal. Instead, he is engrossed in himself, and it seems as if Kim is attracted to another girl. Apparently, Kim tries to get close to Ae Jin. Of course, it infuriates Hana, and she wants to teach her a lesson. On the other hand, Ae Jin is confused as she knows nothing. However, luckily, things don't get worse because Kim stops Hana. After the incident, Ae Jin, who feels humiliated, intends to end her friendship with Hana. However, a quite interesting fact is disclosed. In the past, Ae Jin chose the school because of her friend Hana. Hence, she intended to go to the school to be friends with her. However, this fact is different from reality because Hana does not recognize her. However, Ae Jin doesn't give up being friends with her, and she also does quite well in school. It is also revealed that Hana was born into a fairly simple family, and she doesn't want anyone knows. At that time, Hana, who finds out that Ae Jin knows about it, asks her to keep it a secret. Of course, as a friend, Ae Jin will keep it a secret. However, one day, Hana's friend, who is jealous of Ae Jin, provokes Hana to hate Ae Jin. Hana's friend named Tae-hee tells Hana that Ae Jin has leaked her secret. Of course, at that time, Hana, who was instigated by her friend's words, immediately hated and began to oppress Ae Jin. So that was the beginning of why Hana hated Ae Jin so much and always bullied her. And now that she realizes that Hana has been too much for her, Ae Jin intends to end their friendship. Especially now, with all the problems with Jeannie's account, Ae Jin intends to delete the account for the reason that she wants to live a life without lies again. However, she doesn't do this when a new character appears. A transfer student named Min Jae comes to the school. Her arrival takes the school by storm because Min Jae looks like Jeannie, and she even admits that she is Jeannie. Of course, Hana doesn't believe it. However, Min Jae says if Jeannie is not her, then who else? The whole school then finally believes that Min Jae is the real Jeannie. Min Jae, however, looks very suspicious. She approaches the students who are bullied, including Ae Jin. At that time, Ae Jin is still curious, and she accepts her invitation to be her friend. In fact, she will also follow her home with the other students. Min-jae's true motive is then revealed. She approaches the students who are bullied by Hana so that they can side with her. In addition, she also intends to invite them to take revenge on Hana. Of course, with her sweet words, the bullied students obeyed her. Unexpectedly, Hana's friend named Se-hee is also one of them. Hana is now trying to find out why Kim stays away from her and the girl he's close to. Then after doing research and asking Kim directly, she finds out that Kim is in a relationship with Jeannie. Feeling curious about that, she opens old photos of Jeannie. She then realizes that the items owned by Jeannie are very similar to the items she has taken from Ae Jin. She is shocked and wonders if Jeannie is Ae Jin. So to make sure of that, she intends to observe Ae Jin. She sends a message asking what she eats that day. Ae Jin, who doesn't realize that, sends the photo nonchalantly. Of course, Hana is surprised, but she still denies it and leaves because she doesn't believe it. And now, to confirm her suspicion, she intends to go to Jeannie's school. When she goes there, none of the students knows about her. However, it is a fact that Ae Jin attends that school. At a different time, Ae Jin, worried her identity will be exposed, turns to Kim for help. Kim has an idea to do a video call with Hana using a tool that can make Jeannie look real. Fortunately, because Hana is not so smart, she doesn't know it is a mere fabrication. With this, Ae Jin is relieved because Hana won't suspect her anymore. One day, when Hana comes home from school, she receives the unexpected news that her mother has passed away due to her illness. This really makes her sad because she's been too busy to see her mother's condition. Her past is then told. Since childhood, she has lived in simplicity. However, one day her father suddenly got a fortune that could change her family's fate. However, this happiness was short-lived because her father got married again and left her with her mother not long after that. Since then, she has realized that being beautiful is important because she doesn't want to be left like her mother because she isn't pretty. And that is the reason why she is trying so hard to be beautiful even though a mediocre economy hinders it. A day later, the funeral finally takes place. It looks like Hana really suffers from the loss of someone precious to her. Meanwhile, Ae Jin, who also attends the funeral, can only pray and try to comfort her. However, it just makes Hana angry. She then asks if Ae Jin is Jeannie. Hearing that, Ae Jin just looks down and leaves. The next day, Min-jae asks Se-hee to make Hana accused of stealing Ae Jin's things. Of course, Se-hee does what she's told. Then after this plan is successful, Min-jae will confront Hana about it. Hana, who doesn't know anything, denies it. However, Min-jae insists on attacking and humiliating Hana, just like she did to Ae Jin the other day. Seeing that Ae Jin gets angry and stops her, she then asks Se-hee if it is actually her scheme. At first, Se-hee denies it, but because Ae Jin is sure and snaps at her a bit, Se-hee finally admits it. Seeing it, Min-jae pretends not to know and turns everything onto Se-hee. Se-hee finds out about that and is really angry because she doesn't expect Min-jae to take advantage of her from the start. Se-hee, who can't defend herself, is ultimately responsible for this matter. She is even ostracized because of the incident. After the incident, Ae Jin, who feels guilty for Hana, finally reveals that she is Jeannie. Hana immediately gets angry and asks if Ae Jin does it to toy with her. Ae Jin replies that she doesn't mean to make fun of her. She doesn't dare tell her before because she thinks she will reject her friendship. After hearing that, Hana can only be silent. She thinks had she known Ae Jin was Jeannie, she would have definitely avoided her. Hana then leaves. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Ae Jin is sick of lying and wants to delete Jeannie's account. However, at the same time, she is also very annoyed by Min-jae's behavior, so she is still considering deleting or maintaining the account. Ae Jin also writes a letter to Jin's son expressing an apology and her feelings for him. She doesn't meet him in person because she realizes she doesn't deserve him, especially after ruining their friendship. A few weeks later, Min-jae stays in charge of the class and does her activities to get attention. Meanwhile, Hana and Kim become awkward considering that previously Hana asked for a breakup because she realizes that Kim doesn't really love her. On the other hand, Kim can only accept it either because he doesn't love her anymore or because he is interested in Ae Jin. The incident the other day really changed the situation, especially for Min-jae, who starts to act and admits to being Jeannie. Feeling fed up with Min-jae, Ae Jin tries to expose Min-jae by posting that someone imitates Jeannie. Of course, Jeannie followers ask Min-jae who the person posting the caption is. In this situation, Min-jae lies by saying that her management posts it. Luckily, everyone believes her, otherwise her life will be over. The next scene tells us why Ae Jin hates her mother so much. It turns out that her mother doesn't believe that Ae Jin had a sister. It's unclear who was right here, as it has not been fully revealed yet. However, it is vaguely told that someone was hit because of Ae Jin in her childhood. Since then, the relationship between her and her mother has worsened. To this day, Ae Jin doesn't trust her and doesn't think of her as her mother. The next day at school, Ae Jin faces another problem. She has lost her cell phone after exercising. It turns out that it is not lost but is stolen by Min Jae. She stole it because she overheard a quarrel between Ae Jin and Hana the other day regarding her identity. Of course, she stole it to prove to everyone that she is the real genie. This really makes Ae Jin confused, and she asks Min Jae to return it. However, Min Jae refuses and threatens if she doesn't want her identity to be exposed, then Genie's account will be better for her because she thinks she is the right person for that account. Despite this threat, Ae Jin still intends to take her cell phone back. But because Min Jae is a meticulous person, it will be very difficult to take it back. Luckily, even though she can't take her cell phone, she still can have the account by changing the password. Despite the success, Ae Jin is still worried because there is a naughty video from Jin Sum on her cell phone. She is very worried that Min Jae will use it to take back Genie's account. While on the other hand, Kim intends to help Ae Jin by finding out who Min Jae really is. Apparently, Kim is so concerned about Ae Jin not because of love. However, he knows what an emotion or feeling feels like when he's with her. Kim is looking for that because he is suspected of having a disorder of not having emotions and feelings. This is because his father taught him to be number one for a long time. So with that, he can't learn how to respect or understand other people's feelings. So now, to thank Ae Jin, he will help her out of the trouble. Then, after searching for information about Min Jae, he gets something unexpected from someone who knows her. The person says that Min Jae is really a very bad person. That's because since she was in her old school, she often bullied people who were weaker than her. Having found the story, he finally understands exactly what Min Jae is planning, that she intends to do the same thing as at her old school. After knowing that Kim plans to stop her while revealing that Min Jae is not Genie, he will ask Hana for help to be close to Min Jae so she can take the cell phone. However, Kim asks Hana not to tell Ae Jin about the plan so that Min Jae will not know it. After everything is planned out, they start making moves. The first task is that Hana will try to be close and become Min Jae's best friend. Then after that, Kim will create a festival that Min Jae will later broadcast live on her Instagram account. This is to reveal that Min Jae is a fake genie. Then if this plan is successful, they proceed to the third plan, which will be carried out when the festival begins. This time, it is Hana's turn to steal the phone. However, the plan doesn't go smoothly because Min Jae manages to reclaim the phone. Luckily, it happens when Kim arrives at the right time, and then he destroys the phone. With that, the mission is successful, and it just waits for Min Jae to be humiliated by everyone because she is a fake genie. Unfortunately, it is not over yet because Min Jae has previously anticipated this by asking the company to back up Jin Sum's video. Then after getting the video back, Min Jae comes to Ae Jin and asks to give her Genie's account. Otherwise, she will share the video. Under these circumstances, Ae Jin begs her not to involve Jin Sum in this matter. Min Jae gets furious and then spreads Jin Sum's video to the public. Not only that, she has previously invited Jin Sum there. Ae Jin immediately rushes over to tell everyone that she is Genie. However, before that happens, it turns out that the video isn't dirty at all. It is Jin Sum's dance practice that he wanted to show Ae Jin. Ae Jin then doesn't reveal that she is Genie. With that, Min Jae's lie is finally revealed. As a result, she is humiliated by everyone. And worst of all, Say he takes this opportunity to avenge Min Jae for what she did the other day. It completes Min Jae's bad luck. Then after that incident, everything is back to normal. Kim starts dating Hana again, and meanwhile, Ae Jin intends to reveal herself and also post her real face on Genie's account. This really caused an uproar in the world because everyone did not think that Genie was a mere fabrication. Of course, when everyone finds out about this, Ae Jin is blasphemed all over the country. However, she doesn't regret it because she feels it's better to live with her true self than to lie for her own good. Before the film ends, the truth is revealed. It turns out that all this time her mother has been hallucinating. This is based on her mother's inability to accept that Ae Jin's older sister, Hee Jin, died. So, because of her trauma, her mother lost her memory and hallucinated about not having children except Ae Jin. And now that she is aware of all this, her mother apologizes to Ae Jin about everything. Apart from this, an even bigger fact is revealed. It turns out that Genie is not a mere fabrication. Ae Jin manages to create such a beautiful figure by combining her face and her sister's. Initially, she created Genie because she missed her sister. However, due to Genie's popularity, she took advantage of it. However, with that experience, Ae Jin will confidently live her life without using Jeannie's identity again. The end.